Far below the surface of the ocean, past the reach of sunlight, past the last traces of warmth, there exists a world that does not obey the rules we know. A world where darkness is not empty but alive, where shapes drift without sound, and where light itself becomes a weapon, a disguise, a language. Because here in the deep sea, glowing fish move through black water like living nightmares, their bodies pulsing with cold fire as if the ocean itself is dreaming. And this is not fantasy, not science fiction, but biology pushed to an extreme that feels almost forbidden. Because as we descend through the layers of the ocean, pressure rises, temperature drops, and light vanishes, until vision becomes useless and survival depends on inventing entirely new ways to exist. And this is where evolution takes a darker turn, where fish glow not to be beautiful, but to hunt, to hide, to confuse, to survive in a place where every movement could mean death. Because the deep sea is not empty. It is crowded with unseen eyes, with mouths waiting in the dark, and with creatures shaped by millions of years of isolation into forms that seem more like nightmares than animals. And scientists call this glow bioluminescence, but that word barely captures what it really is. Because this light is not gentle, it is sharp and purposeful, produced by chemical reactions inside living cells, or sometimes by bacteria living inside the fish. Bacteria that glow on command as if controlled by the creature itself, raising questions about cooperation, control, and evolution that scientists still don't fully understand. Because why would a fish evolve to shine in a place where light makes you visible, unless visibility itself has become a weapon? And as we go deeper, past the twilight zone into the midnight zone, where sunlight has never touched for billions of years, nearly every fish we encounter glows in some way, flashing, pulsing, glowing blue, green, sometimes red, colors chosen not for beauty, but for physics. Because blue light travels farthest in water, making it perfect for communication and hunting, while red light becomes invisible at depth, allowing some predators to see their prey without being seen themselves. A horrifying advantage that turns the darkness into a one-way mirror. And among these creatures are anglerfish, whose glowing lures dangle like false stars in the void, mimicking food to draw victims close enough to be swallowed whole. And this raises a chilling question. If light is meant to reveal, how did it become a lie? And deeper still, we find fish with glowing bellies designed to erase their shadows, matching the faint light from above so perfectly that predators below see nothing at all. A biological invisibility cloak powered by chemistry rather than technology. Something humans still struggle to replicate. And yet evolution solved it millions of years ago. And as pressure climbs to hundreds of times what we feel on land, crushing submarines and shattering steel, these fish remain soft, flexible, almost fragile, their bones thin, their bodies gelatinous, because rigidity means death down here, and scientists still don't fully know how their cells function under such pressure without collapsing, or how their enzymes continue to work when ours would fail. And then there are the eyes, massive, tubular, sometimes reflective like mirrors, sometimes absent entirely because vision becomes optional when light is scarce, and some species abandon eyes altogether, relying instead on vibration, electricity, or chemical sensing, turning the ocean into a web of invisible signals. And what's most unsettling is that many of these glowing fish don't glow constantly. They choose when to light up, suggesting control, intention, perhaps even a primitive form of decision-making that we barely understand. And when scientists observe these creatures in labs removed from pressure and darkness, their glow often fades, their behavior changes, and sometimes they die, as if the deep itself is part of their biology, inseparable from who they are. Which raises a larger question: how much life on Earth exists in forms we cannot study without destroying? And as exploration continues using submersibles and robotic cameras, every descent reveals new species, new light patterns, new forms that don't match anything in textbooks, reminding us that over 80% of the ocean remains unexplored, and that most glowing deep-sea fish were discovered only in the last century, meaning our understanding is not ancient knowledge, but a recent glimpse into a hidden empire beneath the waves. And even now, scientists debate why bioluminescence evolved so many times independently across unrelated species, as if the deep sea itself favors light, shaping life toward glow again and again. And some researchers suspect that glowing may do more than hunt or hide, that it could play roles in mating, in signaling danger, or even in confusing predators by overwhelming.